Hi, hello, my name is Eileen. I live just outside Calder in the Scottish Highlands. I live there with my husband Kieran and our dog Odin. I run my own dyeing business, Stuart Yarns, formerly known as Kelpie Knits, and I used to have a podcast, the Kelpie Knits podcast, but I haven't uploaded a video in almost a year. Do you still have a podcast if you haven't uploaded in that long a time? If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around and giving me some time to sort myself out. I feel a bit like lockdown and everything over the past year just really kicked my butt. I didn't want to film. And then we moved into our first house, we bought our first home. It was huge, it was major, it was really stressful, so I couldn't film then either. And then it was Christmas, and family time is precious now because we can't see everybody as much as we would like. So family was the priority over the festive period. So couldn't film then for sure. And now it's March. I think it's time. It's time to lift the podcast from the ashes. We're gonna bring the Kelpie Knits podcast back to life. I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good year since I last spoke to you. It's definitely a lot longer than my usual fortnight, but I hope that you've been okay and looked after yourself and stayed safe. I'm going to try very hard just to restart the podcast and not beat myself up for how long it's taken to post another episode, because the podcast became this huge thing in my head where I was so aware of how long I'd been away, and I couldn't even think about it. I was so anxious, I was so stressed, and it became this huge big scary thing in my head. I planned an episode back in November. I had written everything out, I had my notes, I had everything ready to go, I was ready to film, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I was gone. But I'm back now. So let's have a good time. Let's talk about knitting. I've missed this so much. Let's just get into it. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about what I've been up to over the past year, then you can check out my Stuart Yarns Instagram. That's where I've been posting the most. And I posted a little update video in December, I think it was December, just with some photos and some clips of what I've been up to. So you can check those out if you'd like to know more. What is going on with my hair? Seriously. I have no idea how to do this anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. It's been so long, I don't remember how to film a podcast. I have a new camera too with a viewfinder. So I'm looking at the viewfinder when I should be looking at you. It's going to be hard. We're going to have to work together here. Makeup's looking pretty good though. First time I've worn makeup in like a year. So that's fun. Now, if you're interested, this is one of my finished objects. I'm going to be talking a bit about that at the end of this section because this is the one I'm most excited about. So I'm going to save it for the end. For the moment, I'm going to try and sum up everything I've knit over the past year in one video. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've tried to keep my Ravelry projects up to date, so if you're interested in a comprehensive view of everything that I've knit, head on over to Ravelry. I'm there as the Kelpie Knits, and you should find everything that you need over there. I'm going to do my best to talk about it all here, but it might have to be a kind of brief summary of each project, otherwise we're going to be here until next week. However, I'm also conscious that Ravelry, as of the 31st of March, are going to change their look of the website, and the new look has given a lot of people migraines and it's been difficult for people to use. So if you're in that group and Ravelry is just a no-go for you, I'm going to be posting more regularly on the Kelpie Knits Instagram feed. So I'll try and keep that up to date with project information, things I've finished and things I've talked about on the podcast, so you can access it that way too. Okay, so finished objects number 1 and number 2, which I don't currently have to show you. They were both love note sweaters. I made my first love note and then I made my second love note, which went much better than the first. With my first love note, the gauge just wasn't quite right, or it might have been right, but it wasn't right for me. It was a bit stiffer than I wanted, and then to make things even worse, the neckline was just wrong. It was way too tight, so I can't actually get my head through I need to stop looking at the viewfinder. I need to stop it. But yeah, I can't actually get my head through the neck of my first Love Note sweater, so I need to go back and fix that, but I haven't yet. So even though it's a finished sweater in a colour that I really like, it's just been languishing in my spare room. I haven't looked at it, haven't fixed it. That's going to be a running theme throughout this video, that it's going to look like I've knitted a lot, but weaving in ends, blocking, I don't know her. I don't know her. So for both Love Notes, I used my own yarn. I used shirt yarns in one-of-a-kind batches. So the first Love Note was a kind of chocolate raspberry colourway, and the second didn't have a name because it was one of a kind. It was a lovely bluey purple colour, and I paired it with a purple mohair, which was really nice. The first Love Note was supposed to be for me, but like I said, I haven't worn it. But the second Love Note, which worked out better, was a present for my auntie, so I'm glad of the two, that's the one that actually worked. It was lovely. And using fingering weight and the mohair was just, it was a joy to work with, even though the mohair makes me sneeze. I think I'm mildly allergic to mohair, it just goes for my nose. But it looked lovely and it was so worth it because it was gorgeous, it was beautiful. There's a lot of hype surrounding the Love Note sweater pattern, and it's by Tin Can Knits if you didn't already know. I think this is one of the instances where the hype is actually worth it. The pattern's so good, it's so easy, the gauge is gorgeous, it makes just the most gorgeous jumper. I really love it, and I want to make several more Love Note sweaters. I've already made 2 and I want more. I want to make more of them. So I probably will be in the future. I can see it happening. Do I see myself in the viewfinder? It makes me look like I have short hair. Should I cut my hair? No. No. I've made it all the way through lockdown without cutting my own hair. I'm not going to start now, but like, it looks kind of nice. Because my hair has just gone out of control in lockdown. Like, look how long it is. It's ridiculous. But short hair? Maybe? Project number 3, which I do actually have to show you, is my Night Shift by Andrea Mowry. I made my first night shift. I'm not thrilled about the colours I chose, so this is it here. So it starts with this kind of greeny red. Now this is where you're going to notice that I have a lovely new camera, because I'm able to see myself showing you this, so I can tell if it's in shot or not, so I don't have to reshoot it 4 or 5 times. Beautiful. Beautiful. So this is the reddish green portion here. Also, excuse my nails. I did have them done, but I don't anymore. So it starts this reddy green and then it moves into this and then over here. And then this black and red section is pretty cool. I'm trying to really show you the texture, but it's difficult. And then we're into black and purple, which is nice. And then the white, which I'm not thrilled about. I think this is the bit that kind of ruins it for me, is this sort of white section with the colour on top. I'm not a big fan. This is probably the way around I should be showing you. This is it here. So this is my night shift. I was thinking I might gift it to someone because I'm never going to wear it. The colours just aren't right for me. I'm not really a fan. I loved working on it. The process was really nice. It's a really satisfying knit because of all the slip stitches, and I love the texture of it once it's finished. It's lovely. I just don't like the colours. I'm also blaming not liking the colours on why I haven't woven in any ends yet. None. Look at all the colours that are in this. I haven't woven in a single end. So I'm blaming the poor choice in colours for why I haven't actually finished this. I really want to make another one. I used stash yarn for this just because I wasn't sure how all the colours would play together. I didn't want to buy more yarn, so I used stash, and now that I know how the colours work together, I would definitely choose a different colour combination because I'm just not happy with it. So I love the knit and I loved working on it, and I love the I-cord edge. Like that. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at it. So I could see myself making another one, just with different colours. To be honest, I could probably have this as a kind of giveaway. If somebody really wanted this, or you want this as a giveaway, let me know. You can leave a comment, because I would happily give it to someone who will actually wear it. But yeah, this is my night shift shawl. Next is another project that I don't actually have to show you. It's a sock head slouch hat by Kelly McClure, and I made this for my husband. And it's not an exaggeration when I say that Kieran has had this hat on possibly every day since my last episode. He's worn it so much, he loves it, and it's probably my most successful knit of the year because it's been so loved and so well worn. I'm particularly proud of it because I used one of my Yarn Club colourways to make it, the one from last March actually, and it's really nice. Kieran picked it out himself, he really wanted something knit in that colour, so we decided on a hat. It's a lovely hat. It's a really nice hat to work on if you're just learning how to use circular needles. It's really simple, it's a mindless knit, so you can work on it if you're stressed or if you just need to chill out for a bit. It's great. And at the end, even though it's a really simple knit, you end up with this gorgeous, slouchy fit, relaxed hat that just looks stunning. It's a really good pattern for those odd skeins of fingering weight yarn, which everyone has. You definitely have one. You have an odd single skein of fingering weight yarn in your stash somewhere that's kind of an odd colour and you can't really pair with anything. Make a sock head hat, it's brilliant. Would make again, we'll probably have to because Kieran's definitely going to wear through this hat eventually. Next, we have the Eileen bag by Hannah Mason. This is it. Ta-da. So I'll give you a close-up of the texture. It's really nice, and this is the bottom. So it has, you start with the bottom, and I have the handle. So it's really cute. It's a cute little knit. It wasn't knitting up as big as I hoped it would, so I kind of lent into that and I've made it a project bag instead of a market bag like it says, because it's not the biggest. So I didn't make a really big long handle, I just made a short handle so that it's a project bag rather than a bag I would take to the shops with me. It was a really interesting knit. It was the first time I'd used cotton yarn, so it has a really interesting texture. I love the colour. I love the pattern. It was super easy to get this kind of lace. Really enjoyed working on it. I made a bit of a mistake when I was attaching the handle. You can see it here. I have a seam when I shouldn't really. I have a seam here, which isn't supposed to be there. It's supposed to be on the inside, but it's fine. I'm not all that bothered. It's okay. Just a project bag, so it's fine. Yeah, it's my first knit bag. I'm really pleased with it, so happy that I got that finished. Next, I have another project that I can't show you because it was a Christmas present for one of my friends. I made the Leftover City Cowl by Casey Herlihy. This may be the best project in the world for all those scraps of fingering weight yarn that you have from other projects. It's such a stylish way to use them up, and I loved the finished product. It was so comfortable. The gauge was gorgeous, it felt really nice. The colour work is super simple, but it has such a striking effect. I used all my own yarns for this because I had a lot of scraps from other projects and sample knits and things like that. So all of the colours in this cowl are Stuart Yarns colourways. A couple of them are one of a kind. There's scraps from the hat that I made for Kieran, and there's my It's a Coup colourway, that's the orange. I think that's the only one that's available in the shop. I genuinely loved making this. I whipped it up so quickly, and I think it would be a great option for Christmas gifts this coming year. I would quite happily make several more and give them to my friends. So definitely give it a go. If you have scraps and you need something to do with them, the Leftover City Cowl is amazing. Next, I have the Storm Shawl by Joji Locatelli. This I do have to show you, but it's not blocked. Sorry, it's just not. Here we go. So I love these. I can't remember the way that she phrases it in the pattern, but I just think that section where the stitches are kind of stretched is so cool. I love it. And I have my first, is it a picot bind off? You can see. I've never done one of them before, so that was great. I'll try and give you a good look. But like I said, it's not blocked yet, so it's supposed to be bigger. Here we are. So this was another project that I used to kind of use up one of those stray skeins of fingering weight yarn. The yarn I got from Love Hand Dyed several years ago. I can't remember the name of the colourway even. I'd lost the the info, but I only had one, so this was a perfect project to use that up. And it seems like everybody's made a storm shawl, so it was great. I love working on it. I just really need to finish it and block it properly. I'm gonna end up being that podcast that people go to and they're like, you never block anything, you never finish anything, and I don't even have anything to say to that because it's true. I'm so bad. There are very few projects I'm going to show you that I have actually blocked. Next, project number 1000. This is my Haunted Mansion cowl by Tanis Gray. Look at this. Look at it. How amazing is that? It turned out so nice. I love it so much. So this was my birthday / Halloween cast on because my birthday's on the 28th of October. So I cast this on to celebrate my birthday and to celebrate Halloween, and I couldn't have found anything more perfect. It's so spooky, it's so cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Again, I used my own yarn for this, so the orange here, this is my It's a Coup colorway, and then the kind of greyish black, that's my Odin colorway. And it's a variegated black, so there's not as much contrast as there would maybe be if I used a solid black, but I really liked it. I thought it made it just look a bit different. But it contrasts enough with the orange, I think. I really like it. I think it's great. Now this might be the exception to the rule because I have blocked it, but I haven't woven in my ends. And for those of you that tend to ask, these are my floats. Just here. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this pattern. It was really fun, really great to work, and it's just fun to have. Look at that, why wouldn't you want one of them? Okay, I had some minor technical difficulties, but I'm back. I'm really excited about this next project that I got finished. This is my Felix pullover. Look at the raglan detailing. I don't know how well you can see, but look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. I just think it's such an easy pullover. It's such an easy pattern, but I love it. I love it so much. Here you go, you might see this a bit better if I hold it this way. Look at the detailing, isn't it gorgeous? And I think it might be my perfect pattern. The yarn weight is just wonderful, worsted weight. The needle size works perfectly with that weight of yarn, so it knits up like a dream, and the pullover pattern itself is so simple. Anybody could make it. It's a great first jumper pattern. It all just works together well, and it's really well written and it's easy to follow, which I really enjoy. I think if I were to make it again, the only thing I would change is I would probably knit it so it was a bit longer. I'm just not a fan of cropped length sweaters. I know they're having a moment and all jumpers seem to be cropped, but it just doesn't suit me. It doesn't look right. I don't enjoy it. So if I make another one, which I probably will, I think I'm going to knit it so it's a bit longer. I've even toyed with making it like a jumper dress, so putting in increases and knitting it much longer so that it's dress length rather than just sweater length. I think that would look so nice. I haven't blocked my jumper yet. I will. I promise I will. For some reason, I just continually choose chaos and I don't know why. So it will get blocked at some point and then it will be nicer to wear, and I promise to weave my ends in. But yeah, if you're looking for a first jumper pattern, this could be the jumper for you. It's perfect. You should do it. You should definitely do it. It's great. Next is another project that I can't show you because it was a Christmas present that has been given to someone, but I made a pair of the Legend of Zelda mittens, and they were a real labour of love. It took me a long time and I ended up giving them late. I gave them to my friend in January, but they looked so cool. I'm so proud of how they turned out. They actually look more complicated than they were, but they were fiddly and they took a long time, so I don't know if I'd make them again. I used opal fingering weight yarn and it's just plain black, and the colourful yarn was the Sing It Louder colorway by Knit Me Sane, and it's really nice. It's very bright, lots of colour, and I think it reacts under UV light, but I don't have a UV light to check that. If you're a Zelda fan or you have a Zelda fan in your life, then you need to make these mittens. They're a joy to see come together, and just they're really nice to have. The friend that I knit them for is like a Zelda super fan. He's also an amazing musician and does lots of covers of Zelda songs, and you can find him on Spotify and YouTube, so I'd recommend you give him a listen if you like gaming at all. My only issue with the pattern was that it only comes in one size, so I found that the mittens were quite narrow, even though I went up, I can't remember how much, but I went up either half a millimetre or a full millimetre in needle size, and they were still very narrow. So if you have particularly big hands, or whoever you're knitting them for has quite big hands, they might be a bit of a squeeze, but you know, it happens. But yeah, I definitely feel like I leveled up my knitting game with these. I was really proud to get them finished, and they're one of those knitting achievements. I don't know if you've ever had a project like that you feel like it's a proper milestone of how much better you've gotten at knitting since you started or since a year ago. So I'm pleased I made them. I'm going to treat this next one as a finished object, even though it's technically 50% of a finished object. But it's going to be these, but this is my Christmas Eve cast on sock. I cast this on Christmas Eve, I think. I knitted a little bit of it on Christmas Day. Here we go, that's the heel. And I have my toe. So the main colour, the whole thing is Biff Sugar Yarns. It was their Christmas Eve sock set from a couple of years ago, so you probably can't get it anymore. But it's so cute and festive, and I love the colours. I think it looks really nice. It's kind of had to go into hibernation just because I've been knitting a lot of things. I've actually been knitting a lot of baby things for a friend of mine who's having a baby in the summer. So these are just one of the projects that I've had to go into hibernation because I've been so focused on knitting other stuff. But I'm hoping to cast on the other ones soon because I like to have the set. This is going to be the first pair of socks that I've knit that I'm keeping for myself. So I'm excited to have it finished. I think the yarn is lovely. Really like it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting these finished. I've saved this one for last because it's the one that I'm most excited about. It's a Jennifer Steingast pattern, so if you know her patterns, you probably know what this is already. But this is her Midcoast sweater, and it's my first colourwork jumper, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. So I have the yoke here, and there's colourwork on the sleeves. I'll get you in a little bit closer so you can see. So it's a rolled edge sleeve here, and then this is the yoke. Give you a nice shot of it there. It goes right the way around. God, my hair is so long. I love it. I absolutely love it. It makes me so happy every time I see it. I'll show you so this colour, the main colour, is by Biff Sugar Yarns in her Highlander colourway. So it's kind of multicoloured. It's lovely. I don't know if she has it in the shop at the moment or anymore. I'm not sure because I bought the yarn a while ago. But then the yoke, I've just used my own yarn for. So this is just undyed merino. The white I call the undyed yarn I have in the shop Snow Bear. So technically it's a Snow Bear colourway, but it's just undyed. And then the orange here, this orange, is my It's a Coo colourway inspired by Highland cows. So that's it here. And I think it's lovely. I think it's so nice. It's a big achievement. I was really, really pleased to get this finished. I don't even know if you guys have seen this at all. I don't know if I was in the middle of making it during the last episode. It took me quite a long time, but absolutely in love with it. Really nice. Again, if I were to make another one, which I probably will, but a different yoke pattern, I would probably knit it so it's a bit longer so that it's not the cropped length. Just because I'm not huge on it. I'm not huge on a cropped length jumper. I just don't think it suits me. But yeah, if you're looking to challenge yourself by knitting a colourwork jumper, I would definitely recommend Jennifer Steingast patterns. Her patterns are already very popular, so I don't think she needs me plugging her patterns at all, but I would definitely recommend them. It was great to work. The end result is really pretty, really nice, and I'm very happy. Very, very happy Like I said, I've been knitting a lot of baby items, so I don't have maybe as many finished objects that are more recent as you'd expect, but I also don't want to show those baby knits just now because I don't want to spoil the surprise for the recipients, so I'll maybe show you them all in a different episode. I'll film it just before I give them to her, and then you can see what I've been knitting aside from the things that I show you on the podcast. Oh, well, that's finished objects done. I feel like that could already be an episode of the podcast just on its own, and we're only halfway through. So now I'm going to show you some of the projects I've been working on a bit more recently. So first of all, I have quite a departure from what I would normally be showing you on the Kelpie Knits podcast. This is my very first crochet project. Ta-da! Isn't it lovely? If I do say so myself. Look at it. So yeah, I've started a granny stripe blanket using just scraps of DK that I have in my stash. So this is it here, that's how much I have. And it's fairly wide. That's it. Yeah, I taught myself to crochet and it's going really, really well. The only thing that I ever really wanted to crochet was a granny stripe blanket, so I'm happy enough that being the only thing I know how to crochet, that's fine, but it's really therapeutic. I've been really enjoying it. And like I said, it's scraps of yarn, so there's some Stuart yarns in there, there's other dyers, things I've lost the names for, so I can't give you all the colourways, but it's just a really nice project to work on when I need to relax. So I'll be adding to that over the next wee while. I can keep you up to date if I make any progress on it. If I add a few new colours, then I'll update you and show you, but I think that's going to be a slow burner. Just add to that whenever I have scraps of things. My next project is a Polygon blanket by Tin Can Knits. Now this one I can't show you all at once, it's in this bag, but the Polygon blanket, if you didn't know, is made up of lots of little hexagons. Lots of these, like little starfish, all kinds of colours. So you start from the outside, you cast on in the round, and then you work your way in. I just think it's really nice. So eventually all of these hexagons are going to be sewed together to make one big blanket. I have about 30 at the moment. I don't know how well these will go together, but just to give you an idea. I have about 30 at the moment. I've just been working on a hexagon whenever I feel like it, really. So again, it'll probably be a slow burner project. I'll just tick away and then I can probably show you a bit easier on the podcast once I've started sewing things up, because all the hexagons are loose and they're just in my little bag right now, so it's kind of difficult to show you. Yeah, I've been working on that. It's been really good fun. My next project I've been really loving, but it is a bit of a shame. I've been working on a Ziggy shawl by Hohi Locatelli, and this is what I have so far. It's a really light, fluffy fingering weight yarn that I've been using. It's difficult to show you properly. Ooh, gone all red. There we go. It's difficult to show you properly because it's still in the needles and it's not blocked. But it's these lace sections with big sections of garter in between, and it's lovely. Really, really enjoying working on it. I mean, look at that. From far away, it's gorgeous. But I said it was a bit of a shame because the reason that I started working on the shawl is because I bought a dress to go to a few of my friends' weddings in the summer, but they've had to postpone their weddings just with COVID and everything. They want to stick with the wedding that they originally planned, and it's just not possible to do it safely at the moment, so they've postponed. And the shawl was supposed to go with my dress, so I'm not going to get to wear it now, but the shawl's still really pretty. I'm still going to finish it and block it and everything, and then I'll have it for whenever the weddings do happen in 2022 or whenever. I can't find the name of the yarn that I'm using at the moment. If I find it, I'll pop it on the screen for you when I'm editing. I can't find the yarn information, but I got it as a gift from a friend, and I really think that the yarn has made this project. I don't think it would look as beautiful or as delicate with a different kind of yarn. It has that slight rustic effect, which is really, really nice. This is my last work in progress, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I think this is my most challenging knit to date. This is my poof sweater by Hedgehog Fibres, and I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you this because there's lots of needles on the go, there's lots of yarn. Here we are. So I'll try and show it to you here. Ta-da! So it's a fade, as you can probably tell. Start with this white and it works its way down into darker colours. Like that. Now the poof sweater is supposed to be a fade. That's the design. It's supposed to be a fade sweater. In my infinite wisdom, meaning no wisdom at all, I decided I was going to use lots of minis to make mine, and I've made this so much more difficult for myself. It's an absolute labour of love, and it's been very difficult to work on. So I'm using, like, I don't even know how many minis are going to go into this, but the fade, I'm hoping the fade will be worth it. This is it here. But every time I work on it, I have to weigh out a bunch of yarn and I have to measure everything out quite precisely. And I've been working on the sleeves at the same time as the body to keep everything looking the same. So it's just, it's been an effort. It has been an effort. I'm determined to finish it. I'm determined to finish it because I think the end product is going to be really nice, but I have to take a lot of breaks because I'm very easily frustrated by it. So again, this could be a project that will be a long time in the making, so you'll get to see the progress as I work on it and as I add new colours, which will be fun, but no promises for when this one will be finished because it's hard. We made it! We made it to the end of the return of the podcast. This is usually where I would have a section about news from the Stuart Yarn shop, but because this is already going to be quite long and quite packed, I'm just going to leave it here for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Pat on the back to you if you're still here. I've really enjoyed making a podcast again. This has been really nice, so I'm looking forward to getting back into it more regularly and talking with you every fortnight. I'm really hoping to restart some kind of a knit along, so if you have any ideas for what you would like to have as a knit along or anything that you would really enjoy, please leave a comment and let me know and I can try and organise something. It got impossible to keep up with the knit along last year. I was completely overwhelmed, and with not filming the podcast it was really hard to come back to, so I'm hoping I'll be able to keep a better handle on it this year and we'll get some prizes going and have some giveaways. I think that would be really fun. I will be back in a fortnight. I am not going to disappear for another year. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programming and I look forward to it. I look forward to chatting with you more and sharing my knitting with you more. I've really missed it. I'm really glad to be back, which is part of the reason I want to get knit-alongs and prizes going again, because if you watch the podcast, you're a lovely person. Everyone I've spoken to has been lovely, so I want to try and give back to you if I can. I hope you have a good couple of weeks. Stay safe, look after yourself, enjoy your knitting, enjoy your crafting, and I will see you in the next video.